The following newly released video portrays an incident of assault and violence at the hands of police. Viewer discretion is advised.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
This is Baltimore City Police Officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz. In a newly released video shot in 2016, Ruiz is seen with his knee on the back of an unknown man, with a gun pointed at the man's head. His message was a clear one: concerned onlookers, adhere to my dictates or else. Here, we can hear Ruiz saying to Baltimore residents,
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
It is documented that Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender, even without access to all complaints against Ruiz, undisclosed by BPD Internal Affairs records. 6 cases involving Ruiz are known. This video will briefly highlight 6 total cases beginning in July of 2013. Case 1, Abdul Salam, July 1st, 2013. Here Salam is seen victoriously smiling in celebration after the jury found Ruiz and 2 other cops liable for brutality against him. However, because the trial was civil, not criminal, Ruiz was not fired and he did not go to jail.
Police profiled me. They followed me in the back of my house, harassing me. Police proceeded to violently and hostilely approach my van with me and my son in it. As I announced this was my home, guns drawn. Once they reached my vehicle, they violently pulled me out, ramshacked my vehicle with my 3-year-old son strapped in his car seat, threw me against the gate, slammed me repeatedly.
Hit me up by my feet, and while I'm upside down, they proceeded to drop me on my head, hog tie me, and immediately when I fell on my head, Ruiz, in a wrestling type of action, and kind of hit his knee against my neck.
I was arrested. I had no idea what I was being arrested for. My son is scarred to this day. He remembers the incident as it happened yesterday. When he talks about it, he always refers to Daddy being on the floor with police yesterday.
Case 2, Darrell Harris, profiled, as seen in this video, July 17th, 2013.
Yeah, see, what's wrong with it? Improper way with it. There's no such thing as an improper way. I know the law. I know the law. I know the law. What's the problem? You giving me a ticket? You need my license registration? To profile, you gotta use the seatbelt as a reason to profile.
Take out your keys.
Yeah, you can record for what? Nah. I don't feel safe right now. Do you want me to step out the car? Do you want me to step out the car? I will step out the car. Call the police, man. What do you call the supervisor? I want to do shit. This is getting uploaded to the internet right now. Yeah?
And we are 2 law-abiding citizens that we're getting targeted, and I don't know why.
Just 24 hours later, Bernardez Ruiz played a leading role in the police killing of unarmed Tyrone West. Case number 3, the murder of Tyrone West, July 18th, 2013.
My brother Tyrone West was brutally murdered on July 18th, 2013.
In both of these cases, when you look at the pleadings and the harsh language of these officers that have been quoted to me by reliable witnesses, the N-word.
And Killer Ruiz and Killer Chapman and the rest of those 11 and 15 killers, including David Lewis, took something from my family that they can never give us again. And that was my brother Tyrone West, one unarmed man who was brutally murdered, beat to death in broad daylight.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Wednesday. Before the pandemic, we had street rallies, powerful street rallies, but during the pandemic, we have shifted to streaming. We're very glad you're with us here tonight. This is West Wednesday, number 292. That's the number of weeks that these have been held nonstop. And I now bring you our host, Tawanda Jones.
Thank you, Uncle Bill, but I have to make a correction. It is week 392.
My bad, I'm sorry I slipped.
No problem. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. As you just saw, raw footage, video footage of witnesses talking about a corrupt officer, Ruiz, that is still working actively to this day, literally to this day, working and abusing his power. He was the first one to initiate a traffic stop, to initiate brutally murdering my brother. He tased my brother in his neck 4 times. He kicked and stomped him along with Chapman. They were the first 2. Chapman is a white officer. But long story short, they started a brutal murder of my brother, Tyrone West, that basically, before it all ended, you had 11 and 15, and witnesses said up to 25 men and women of all different sex, race, beating one armed man to death, pepper spraying him, tasing him. I'm talking about brutally executed him. There were video footage that we're still trying to obtain to this day. The very next day, you had the police officers on the ground making sure that the video footage would not be released to my attorneys that was representing us at the time. So this is something that me and my family vowed that we're going to get accountability, no matter how long it takes. It's going on 8 long years, and unfortunately, throughout this trial, throughout this pain, that I wouldn't wish nobody on. I have literally lost 2 of my frontline family members that was actively in the video footage that you will be seeing or that you saw. And that towards the end, you will see my uncle was rubbing my auntie's back. That's my Uncle Clifton Anderson. He died last year. And the stress is so overwhelming. It could actually kill you. It led up basically into him starting off with a stomach ulcer. We know stress does that to you. And literally when he went to Hopkins to get this fixed up, they accidentally did something wrong which turned cancerous, and it ultimately took my Uncle Clifton Anderson's life. And recently, last week, as hard as it was, and still as hard as it is, to actually come on here while at the same time grieving, like it's just too much. Like here breathing on earth, but I actually feel like I'm dead. I honestly can say, and I can admit when I feel like it's so traumatic. And I thought that when my brother was murdered, I thought that I didn't heal any, but as I got took back to a dark spot that I never asked to be back into, I'm back there at that dark spot. I'm back stuck in 2013 and 2021 because my cousin Tavon Anderson was brutally murdered just last Tuesday. Brutally murdered. We still don't know who killed my cousin. All we know is that he is not a street guy. He's never involved in drama, and he was the love of my life. He was standing there just like he is another brother of mine. I called them my big brothers. He was my favorite cousin. Like everybody in my family has a significant value to me. So when I say this one was a special uncle, everybody in my family, from the eldest person, which is my grandmother, to the baby of my family, like everybody has their whole place and value in my heart, and it cannot be replaced. But for me literally to grow up with Tavon, and we literally in the same crib, living in the same house, playing together, growing together, going to school together, he's watching over me, doing everything together, and now he's murdered. And the ironic part about it was the same night that the ACLU put out a report. They put out a report on all the complaints, and this complaint, let me go back to my fact sheet. The complaints had over 13,000 complaints of police conduct, and the complaints were by community people that were violated. 13,000. right? More than 13,000, over more than 2,000 officers committed these heinous attacks on black and brown folks, because the statistics showed that 90% of the attacks were on black and brown folks, right? So let's be crystal clear. And for that higher of a number, and these statistic numbers basically started from after my brother was killed. So that shows you this maniac is still doing what he do, and that is brutalizing. I don't know how many people, if he killed any more after my brother, he's operating as a gang, like literally. And it's just sad. But the night that the ACLU released that report, I was literally on the news talking about it, and I was saying how I want, and I'm still saying, I want Officer Killer Ruiz and every last one of them stinking animals in a cell block, and I'm not going to stop until they all in a cell block. So, but as I was saying, that the interesting, scary part is an hour and a half later, my cousin, all we know, is taking his daughter to pick up a Christmas gift. And now my cousin is murdered. We don't know who did it. We don't know why. But we know, my family know, my cousin Tavon didn't deserve it. He was the love life, just like Tyrone, of our family. And now he's gone. And then if we don't know what it was, we don't know if it was community violence. We don't know. We don't know if we have some, all I know is it's a serial killer loose that are killing people in my community, and nobody's doing a goddamn thing for talking about it. So actually, to be in both shoes, right, to be on the side advocating for police brutality, and to be on the side where nobody gives a damn about the community, it's sad and it sucks. And I wouldn't wish nobody into it. But guess what, baby? It's all connected together to the highway of hell. And they try to make these things seem like they're isolated incidents, but they're no way isolated by far. It's systemically happening, and it's happening around the world. So tonight I have my special queens on here. I have the grandmother of Stephon Clark on here, Miss Thompson, and she's been on here numerous times, always sharing. And the saddest part, her beautiful grandbaby, her grandson, was actually murdered in her backyard. So just to go through that type of trauma is very heartbreaking. But this queen, through the tenacity and strength, has, uplifted her grandson's name ever since this horrible ordeal happened. It's terrible that we have to go through this, and at the same time we have to live, we have to go on, and at the same time when we're crying at night, the people, the killers that murdered our loved ones, they rest good. We are the ones that are traumatized. We are the ones, and I don't know how much a family can take before they just snap out. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know, and I'm at my breaking point. When enough is enough, it is time to get rid of this whole entire damn system. I don't even want to hear about rebuild. I don't want to hear about reform. I want to hear about rebuilding it. Let's knock it down and build it back up, because to me, that's the only way. I done tried to reform things. I'm definitely down with getting rid of the Officer Bill of Rights, which places them above the law. But at the end of the day, that is not going to save our men, our women, and our children. If I thought it was that easy, let's get rid of it like yesterday. Let's get rid of it like since 1974 when it was established, right? But we have to call a racist system a racist system. And it's just sad that we are the ones, unfortunately, affected by this. But tonight I have 3 queens on here that are going to share. I have Stephon Clark's grandmother, who I'm going to let share first, and then from that point, I'm going to bring on my sister queen, Tiffany Jones, and it's a Jones thing going on tonight, y'all, but we're not related to forever blood. So Tiffany Jones, she does a lot. Like, she knows about the struggle. She lives, breathes it, fights it every day. This beautiful queen brought me on her own radio talk show, and it was very, very great. Even though I didn't want to be on there in that sense of talking about the mourning loss of my brother, but the panelists that we had that day were so great. I felt uplifted. I felt motivated. I went away with a whole lot. So I would have been remiss not to bring my sister Queen on to share all the beautiful and wonderful things that she's doing. My other guest speaker tonight that will be coming on last but not least, and she's definitely the queen of all queens, is my sister Matella Jones. I was honored to actually work with her. She was a teacher at my school, one of the most amazing teachers ever. To actually see her in the classroom and to actually still be in contact with her for going on 15 years now, seeing her grow in the community and advocating. She's going to talk about helping us heal. And Tiffany's going to be talking about helping us heal or whatever they want to talk about to bring to this table tonight. So I want you guys to tune in. We're going to go nowhere. So I'm going to do a mic check and I'm going to bring on my beautiful queen, Miss Thompson, and we're just going to take it from there and uplift Stephon Clark's name. Mic check.
Mic
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
It's all yours.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mike, for having me on this evening.
Can you speak up a little bit? Y'all can barely hear you.
Yeah,
Could you
my
speak up?
grandmother is the one that got me on here because we was on 2 different phones and we didn't know what to do. So she know what to do. She's good at this. So I thank God that she helped me.
Hi, can you come a little closer to the phone? We can't hear you too well.
Oh, see, this is the wrong phone because I got it turned up. Let me see. Hold on for 1 second.
I think if you just sit closer to it, it'd probably work better.
And thank you guys for holding
Can you
it.
hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, great. I have to hold it up to my mouth like you said. Okay. All right. I am the grandmother of Stephon Clark. And my grandson was killed March the 18th. Next month, month after next will be 3 years. Your brother been gone 3 years. Oh, seemed like it was just yesterday. This morning, I woke up. I was in tears. I just got off the prayer line. My daughter called me, and it was just right on time. God had her to call me right on time because I was so depressed. I was depressed over both my grandsons, one community violence, and that's in March. His birthday was March the 7th, and my other grandson was killed March the 18th. So it's just, then next month is my husband's birthday, my anniversary, all this stuff coming up. And they always be here with me. And I was just, this morning, I just was feeling so sad. I mean, I didn't know what to do. And so I was praying. Then my daughter called me and she says, Mama, you need to go to, it's called, what is your mom's program called? It's for a healing. Yeah, the Yayos. And I told her, every time I see a mother on there, I feel bad. I can't take it. It just breaks my heart. So then she says, well, Mama, you need some healing because I'm the mother. I know I'm the mother. But you have seen the stuff, your grandson, and I can't imagine. Mom, I cannot imagine what you're going through. And I just poured out. I just cried. I can't think about it because I just know that in March is my grandson. He would have been 20 something, I think 26. Marcus McKinney, that's my daughter's son, first son. And then it's my grandson, little Papa. The Papa, I don't know. He was murdered that month, the same month his brother's birthday. And he was killed. So I was just feeling some type of way and I asked the Lord, but it's just, I talk to my therapist, I have a psychiatrist, but I love my therapist. But my daughter today had me, she says, Mama, you can't do it. You can't keep doing this fear and this holding this stuff in you. And I'm trying not to, but I don't know, I can't explain, it's too hard. My grandbabies, and that's my babies, I know it's my daughters, but it's a different way. It's just a different way. Oh, excuse me, you guys. I didn't mean to come on, you get emotional.
Oh no, it's okay because I'm emotional, Queen.
You know, and like my grandson said, they still walk the streets. But God has the last say so. So I gotta keep my trust and be still and wait on Him. I can't, go out there and be angry. So I work in my community. I help the families. I help the one that just got killed, her son. And now she's in the hospital in a coma. She's been in there before Thanksgiving. And now they put her out to this other facility. And it's like a place that I guess they just wait till she passed away. And that was Rayshawn. He was a twin. That was she had 10 children. And her sister called me the other day and said that that's where they putting her now. And the kids have to say so. They don't want to let her mother go. The aunties didn't want them to pull the plug, but they're saying no. I want my mama. We're gonna keep holding on and just trust. We have to trust in God. And so now I just had my first South Sacramento Martin Luther King parade. It was a caravan with the cars and motorcycles. And I'm trying to now work with all the associations, even everyone from even out of town, to help for all of us to collaborate together, to help one another through these times, because this is getting bad. Seems like it's getting better, but seems like every time they bring out something, it's getting worse. Mm-hmm. So I just gotta keep on praying and trusting God, and for all of us, we all gotta stick together, everyone. And that's all I have to say. And thank you again for having me. I'm gonna take my picture off because I gotta cry.
No, thank you, Queen, and I'm sending you oceans of love and hugs, and I would definitely be at the next Blessed Child. I'm so sorry I missed it this week. I was crying up a storm. I could not stop crying, and I did not want to come on, to the point I couldn't even catch my breath. It's just so much, but I promise you, I will definitely be on the next one. Also, Stephon Clark's brother and family, they have something called, I'm sorry, not Stephon Clark, but for Stephon Clark, they have something called Stephon Clark Sunday. So I will share the information so we can tune on and support them, because no matter what part of the world we are in, we're still all together in this. And the only way that we are going to get through this is using each other. Literally using each other. And I just thank y'all for coming in this space, and let's lift our sister up for love. And then literally, I'm going to also, if Nicole is still on here, I'm going to bring her on as well, because she as well is a victim. She is in a fighter. She's everything as well. I'd be remiss not to mention her. But her stepfather, Anthony Anderson, was murdered right here in Baltimore City, y'all, a year before my brother. And she's a part of the West Flags family, so she's on as much as she can. But each and every time she come on, I let her come on and share whatever she wants to share. But she too was affected by police brutality and street violence as well, because she lost her beautiful 16-year-old baby girl. I don't know how that pain felt, and I'm trying to tell y'all, I don't ever in my life want to bury one of my babies. I don't give a damn how old they get, how young. Don't ever want to do it. I want my children to bury me when my time comes. But this crazy world, you never know who's buried who. It's just sad and it's sick. But we're going to definitely keep it on. And I just want to uplift our beautiful queen, Miss Thompson. She is so beautiful in and out, so strong. And we are definitely here for you, my queen. So my next guest I'm going to bring up into the space now is Tiffany Jones. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So I just want to this is so deep. I give my heart out to Miss Thompson and you, Tawanda, and anyone else that's and Nicole that's gone through loss. I'm still going through the grief thing. We lost my father-in-law recently, and that's what we talked about when the show that Tawanda was on. It wasn't to gun violence. It was to a sickness, but it's still, I don't want to say too much about it, it's a lot behind that. but since it's COVID, we don't know exactly what went down. We couldn't be there with him. But when it comes to loss, I don't take grief well. So during this time, I've been just trying to stay busy and not really think about it so much. But now, Valentine's Day coming up, and me and my daughter always gave him a Valentine's Day gift. And I said this year I'm still going to do it. He likes certain jelly beans and stuff, and I'm going to do that. But it's gotten so, the grief for me got so heavy because he's my daughter's father, but he was a father to me, like a second father to me. So the grief for me got so deep. I did reach out to a therapist as well as Miss Thompson. I reached out to a therapist too, and it's been helping, but it's still I don't know. I just don't take loss and grief just well. Everyone deal with it differently, and for me, it's just I just have to try to stay busy. But at the end of the day, even at night, when my daughter's about to go to sleep, when I'm trying to put her to sleep, we thinking about him. It's still there. It's still there. No matter what you do, it's still there. So my heart goes out to everyone. But when it comes to the work that I'm doing now, when it comes to police misconduct and everything, what got me into all of this was at a young age. I mean, our family, we Black in Baltimore, you're going to be affected by the police in some way. So growing up, my sister, we was young, and we were playing outside on the steps, and then this officer came and tried to arrest my sister. And she's I forget, she was under 17. We had to run in the house and get my father. And my father was a leader in the community, so the officers, I guess they knew him, and they didn't arrest my sister. We were just playing jacks and stuff on the steps. And but after that, it was officer friendly, and so friendly, And so I've had incidents where, you on both sides, where I'm the victim, but I also, you in need of help. So right now, this is my personal space with you all, but professionally, I investigate police misconduct cases because I want justice for all people that's involved, and I want to always seek the truth. So I really do appreciate Tawanda's work. She knows I love and respect her, and I thank you so much for giving me, a chance to be in your space and to share this moment with you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, beautiful. And I just appreciate all the work you're doing, and you wear so many crowns, so I just really appreciate your work.
Me too.
Thank you so much. And before I bring my sister Matella on, I would like to quickly bring my sister Nicole on, the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson that was actually murdered, literally right in front of his I believe it was, what's his mother's face and his granddaughter's face?
It was his mother and his granddaughter.
Yeah.
And it was actually her birthday that day.
Yeah, so the mic is all yours, beautiful. Mic check.
Mic check.
Hi, everybody. I mean, most of y'all already know who I am. I'm Nicole Pettiford, and I am the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson, who was brutally murdered by the police in 2013. And then 2 weeks after that, my daughter, Ajay Harad, was also murdered through street violence. So, I've been hearing, I understand on both sides because I've been on both sides of the fence.
It's 7 o'clock.
Through police violence and with street violence. And something needs to give. We need to really get together and figure out a plan on how to stop this, because it's not just affecting the person that it happens to, it affects everyone around, and they're not understanding that it affects their children and grandchildren and mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers. And I wouldn't wish this pain on anyone. I don't care if I don't know you. I just met a lot of you guys through being with West Wednesday and everything, and I've met a lot of great people, and y'all are my crutch. Y'all help me get through this on a day-to-day basis because it's hard. It's hard, and if you've never lost a child, It is the worst pain in the world. And I constantly relive it every single day. But I just wanted to say, that I love you all, and I'm just so glad that I'm always allowed to be here and share with you guys. And if you don't mind, for 1 second, I do have a song that I would love to sing to you guys for the ones who have never heard me sing before.
Very nice.
I was listening to Nicole. You beat me to it. Go, girl.
And the name of the song is He Blessed Me. And it goes like this. He blessed me through all the pain, and He blessed me through all the rain. When Jesus heard my story, He blessed me. I knew that He would. He blessed me. He understood. He blessed me. I knew that He would. So I'm asking, please hold my hand and bless me, and every man take my hand and walk me through, 'cause I need you. I'm feeling so blue, but He blessed me with all this good. He blessed me. He understood. So Jesus, please help me now, 'cause Jesus, I don't know how, but He blessed me, so shine me high, 'cause He blessed me, and I don't know why. Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you, beautiful. That
Thank
blessed
you.
my word. I needed that. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that touched my inners. Like, God bless you with that voice to bless us for real. Like, I've been crying all day and everything. And that just opened my whole spirit up. Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you. So, moving right on to our next special guest is my good friend, Matilda Jones. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Thank you all so much. I hope that I have arms wide enough to be able to hold all of the spirit in the room, all of the pain in the room, all of the experience that each of you all bring to the table. I'm so blessed to be in the company of such power. Trauma, trauma is an emotional response to terrible events, but it's even deeper than that. It's actually your body being tricked into the idea that you are constantly undergoing a physiological stress response, right? So our body is designed to allow us to meet the challenges that may come up in life, right? Whether they be physical challenges like having to run away from an object that may be causing danger, or present a situation in which that you have to run away from, or even just the stress of being late to work or having to drop off your children to school in the morning. All of those things have stress responses connected to them, and your body is designed to complete certain responses in your body in order to meet those challenges. When you are undergoing a traumatic experience, your body is tricked into thinking that it has to meet some kind of immediate danger in the environment. And because of that, stress hormones, differences like your heart beating faster, your breathing, feeling like you're suffocating, all of those different emotional responses that you all have mentioned throughout this conversation is your stress response. And your body is not designed to undergo a stress response for a prolonged period of time. You can really cause damage to your body long term if you're not trying to manage some of those stress responses that are accompanied by trauma. But you can also be traumatized by your environment. There's also generational trauma when these things consistently happen to people that you love and people that you know in your neighborhood without any change in sight. That causes trauma. So some of the things that you all are doing right now can really help in healing. Bringing a community of like-minded people together to talk about some of the experiences that you have had is healing. Engaging in therapy and other forms of self-care is healing. Recognizing that there are spiritual and other meditative practices that you can use to heal yourself, including prayer, emotional freedom and tapping techniques, meditation. The important thing is finding something that works for you, giving yourself time to heal, because there is no timeline on healing. Those folks were important to you in life. They will be important to you even after our life is over, and whatever is coming for us will be for us. So there is no time limit. You shouldn't be pressing yourself to get over something within 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. That person will always mean something to you, and you will always carry that memory. I think the trick is to engage in activities that will teach your body along with your mind to heal, because your body does remember your trauma, not just the memories that come to you, but there are actually physiological changes that happen in your body after traumatic experiences are over. And you being triggered by seeing somebody, by Valentine's Day, for example, by an event that may remind you of that person's loss, all of those things are part and parcel of your body remembering the trauma. So sometimes engaging in body exercises, dancing, yoga, there's certain African traditional practices that can help kind of engage the body in the healing of trauma. That can also help too. And a lot of Western medicine doesn't necessarily address that, because we tend to kind of separate the mind from our body. But trauma is a process that affects both the mind, the body, the spirit, it all. So in order to heal from that, you have to address all those components. So thank you for allowing me to participate in this conversation.
No, thank you, beautiful, for sharing that, because I really needed that and things like that. And this, I also noticed on your Facebook that you were advertising something. Can you tell us about that, where you were advertising for our community?
Sure. Seems a little bit out of place in this conversation, only because a part of my personal stance is kind of recognizing the community's ability to heal itself, and that we have our own medicine, so to speak, for healing us. But I guess this event that's taking place in the beginning of February is called the 2001 Healing City Summit. Councilman Zeke Cohen and other folks throughout Baltimore City have recognized the trauma that keeps occurring in communities, especially communities of brown and black skin, and really trying to address not only the trauma that has occurred in communities, but the institutional trauma that keeps being inflicted on communities from institutions like the police. Trying in an attempt to bring communities together through this event. On February 5th, they'll be hosting a Healing Our Cities, Healing Our Souls event. It'll be an all-day event full of different activities, workshops, presentations, all different things focused on healing. I'll be doing a presentation on the neuroscience of trauma and adverse childhood experiences. Just like Tawanda mentioned, I used to be a teacher in my former life, so my passion is children and families. So talking a lot about how the brain actually changes in a child when they undergo traumatic experiences, like being confronted by police and thinking that they're going to be arrested, or having to see a loved one having to suffer through police brutality. Those leave marks on our children as well, not only just their brain, but their bodies. So talking about that and talking about the importance of building community resilience. So that'll be on February 5th. If you're interested in attending the workshop, is free. And there'll be lots of different workshops throughout the day. Lots of really great community leaders like Erica Bridgeford, Ray Kelly will be participating in panels on racial equity, police brutality, all different types of conversations that our community needs to have. So again, that'll be February 5th. It'll be completely virtual, Healing Our City, Healing Our Souls event. So hopefully you all will be able to check that out.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad you brought up our Queen Erica, because I want to give her a special shout out for actually doing all the work she does with the ceasefire. And most importantly, right now, she actually took the stance to help raise up donations for my family right now, because we found out that due to this pandemic, my cousin Tavon definitely was on top of having his life insurance and whatnot, but being laid off in the pandemic, it collapsed, things of that nature, just real. And when we thought, oh, we're going to go pick up this policy, we're good, they're like, no, it collapsed. It's like, you guys are kidding. And so we're still in the dilemma of trying to get 10 grand up by this Friday. It's like, we got the funeral date, everything, but we're still in our mind. So we super traumatized. Like, we're trying to figure out what the hell happened, trying to grieve and breathe at the same time, and then trying to get money up and, things like that. So I want to thank each and every last one of you guys for actually donating money, and things like that, your time, keeping us in prayer, keeping us in thought, reaching out. You guys have been wonderful. And this is what it's about. It's about us supporting us. You get what I'm saying? Like, we all go through difficult times. It may be, I'm sorry, that's my alarm, but it may be my family today and your family tonight. Because it don't, unfortunately, we said the old saying, my family today, your family tomorrow. But unfortunately, in the world and the communities that we live in, my family today and your family in about 5 more minutes. So it's real. So, and all I know is that through love, through support, we can get through this type of thing. And you guys have been, I don't know what I would do, my family don't know what we would do without the support and love, the phone calls, the checking in, just the everything. So we can't thank you guys enough. And I want to share real quick, my cousin Samaya, you guys want to donate, she has a cash app, Samaya Honeydew is her name. She has a cash app, and she also has PayPal. So the cash app information is $ S as in Sam, K as in Kiss, H as in Hello, 826. So that's SKH 826. And her PayPal is DEE.LORES@yahoo.com. So that's Delores, but it's DEE.LORES@yahoo.com. And the dollar goes a long way. Y'all know I'm never the one to be asking like for donations and things like that. But we're definitely, a closed mouth don't get fed. And we're definitely in need of all the support and help that we can get right now. And the last, so we're getting towards our goal as we're speaking, but our goal is to actually have 10 grand by Friday. It's a big nightmare. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but thank you guys. And Brian, is Brian in queue?
Yes, I'm here.
Just a minute, Tawanda.
Okay, yes, Uncle Bill.
Maybe some people were away getting a pencil or a pen. In a few minutes, maybe you could repeat the Cash App and the other one, so those who want to donate be able to do it.
Okay.
Bill on Ben's feed underneath where he's showing it, I just posted it.
Very good.
No. Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate you guys. So Brian, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I had 2 things to offer. Well, and of course, I want to say that, I am just absolutely humbled by all the pain and the endurance and the love that has come out here. And for people to be so brave and so giving at the same time is just something that just really, I don't know how to describe my feelings. It's just overwhelming. And kind of related to that, shortly after the inauguration, there was an editorial that ran by a woman named Sullivan and talking about what should we have learned from this and how did we do at this? And she was talking mostly about the press. And I wrote something in the comment section, back at what she said, because she was talking about, well, we should remember to honor the heroes of this past administration. And she was talking about various politicians and journalists who'd done good things. And so this is what I wrote to that idea. I said, the job of recognizing and promoting our heroes is perhaps the most important one, and we should spend as much time in the next months and years extolling our heroes as we do running down the traitors and the traitors and shipping them off to their just punishment. Ms. Sullivan has a good list, but she leaves off the most important. The hundreds of thousands who showed up in the streets week after week, crisis after crisis, to say over and over, no, this is wrong, we do not consent. These are the real heroes, the basic ones without whom neither journalism nor the courts would have stood against the tide. The young, the black, the brown, the queer, the indigenous, who dragged the white people and the comfortable people across the finish line by brute determination not to accept racism, anti-intellectualism, misogyny, theocracy, and hate. They are the real heroes. And I wanted to read that here because this is the place where I came to meet those heroes. And this is the place where you didn't just say, oh, it's another white guy, where you put up with me when I screwed up, where you opened your arms and you showed me what it means to live in that better place that we all want to be in. And so I wanted to say thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and every single day, every way that I can. And unfortunately, that leads me to the other thing that I do here every week, which is to try and bring forward the names of the people that we have lost in this struggle. Here in Baltimore, every week, we struggle against violence, we struggle against hate, and every week, some people don't make it. And I'm going to read off some names, and I've asked you to just mic check their names back to me, and just use this time and any other time you have during the week to hold them in your prayers, hold them in your thoughts, draw inspiration, draw strength, and remember their families and their loved ones. Alyssa Taylor, 16.
Alyssa Taylor, 16.
Melvin Johnson, 25.
Melvin Johnson, 25.
Ricky Dixon, 40.
Ricky Dixon.
40.
Tavon Anderson, 46.
Tavon Anderson.
Tavon Anderson,
46.
Ricky Martin, 62.
Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin,
62.
Breonna Rogers, 30.
Breonna Rogers. 30.
Devonta Williams, 28.
Devontae Williams.
Devonta Williams,
28.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you said, and I'm just having a moment because I didn't expect, even though we knew that my cousin name was going to be on that list, I didn't expect. This is a lot. My cousin name should not be on the list. My cousin name should not be on a list, period. So this is hard time, and nobody's family member, not just my cousin Tavon, but all the names that you just read, that is someone's loved one, and the damn city is not doing anything. And they're leaving our families at bay. We're all left like this open. And then we've been, and the way I see it, we have been left open like this since 2015, since the uprising, since the police decided to turn their goddamn backs on us because of a bullcrap consent decree, an agreement between the Baltimore City Police Department and the Department of Justice. They decided to turn their goddamn backs, and guess what? They left their backs turned every freaking sense. It is utterly ridiculous and very sad. But moving right on because I'm really caught up in my feelings and I have to jump on, like after this, I have to jump on a family Zoom meeting with my family to plan something we never asked for, never. But Uncle Bill, do you have that sad police brutality list?
Yes, I have part of it. I first want to say that the rate of killings of black people by police, well, killings of everyone by police, is currently 4 times worse than the rate of lynchings during the Jim Crow period. So for those that think that racism is improving in the United States, unfortunately that's not the case. And I want to mention also another instance of racism. As we know, the coronavirus pandemic has stolen about 400,000 lives in the United States. It's approaching 500,000. And Black and Latino people are about 3 times more likely to die for a variety of reasons from COVID. And since in the last month the vaccine has come out, the information was in the paper today, people of color, Black and Latino, are only getting the vaccine at about half the rate of other people here in the United States. And in Maryland also at about half the rate. So these instances of intense murder due to racism have been with us, some say for 400 years, but the reality is that slavery didn't start in 1619. There was slavery before that in the Spanish colonies. Those were the English colonies starting in 1619. So this problem of intense racism has existed in this part of the world for a very long time. And it's systemic. Now, let's be clear on what systemic means. Systemic means it's built into a system, that it can't be reformed away. People have tried to, knock away at it in reforms for a long time, and it's still here. So as a communist, my outlook is we need a working class revolution, a multiracial working class revolution to get rid of this system. It's systemic, and to build a world where we can finally conquer racism and inequality. And I look forward to that. When it comes to the people we've lost around the country due to police violence, it's actually about 3 a day. That is to say, about 1,100 a year. And there used to be a site that kept up to date with those names. Unfortunately, that site is not functioning now. And so Wikipedia has only a small number of the people actually killed by police. So there are 3 people that I'd like to honor now that were killed by police recently. On January the 10th, killed in Texas, was a man named Patrick Warren. And before I repeat his name, I want to just mention what happened in that case. I'm going to read you. It says, Warren's family called 911 requesting a mental health professional and sent to his home, but a police officer responded instead. After briefly being invited in, the officer and Warren left his home. Warren was shot and killed by the officer, although some of the details remain unclear. This incident was partly captured by a Ring door camera. So if we could repeat his name and uplift him, Patrick Warren.
Patrick Warren.
Patrick Warren.
Patrick Warren.
That was on January the 10th. On January the 18th, in Ohio, in Toledo, Ohio, also killed by the police. If we could please say his name and uplift his spirit, Christopher Anderson.
Christopher
Anderson.
And then there was someone killed on the 21st in the Bronx section of New York, a neighborhood called Wakefield, and they have not yet released his name. So if we could think of that person without the name, that would be good too. Last thing I'd like to mention is that once a month after West Wednesday, excuse me, we have a challenge discussion. Challenge is the revolutionary newspaper of Progressive Labor Party. And we're proceeding with the discussion about the fight against police brutality in Los Angeles. They wrote up a report on their work. So anyone who would like to join us next week after West Wednesday, it would be very nice to have you. And my thanks to the guests tonight. It was wonderful to have you here with us.
Thank you, Uncle Bill. And again, I echo that. Thanks for each and every last guest that was on here tonight, sharing, caring, and just doing everything in love and in dignity and with respect. So I just want to thank you guys so much. And also,
before we wrap up, I just want to remind you guys, or in case you guys don't know, but this weekend you don't want to miss a very important event that I'm going to be a part of. Never asked to be a part of it. Wish my brother wasn't killed by the police and I wouldn't even have to be a part of it. But however, I am honored that they are going to, hear my brother's case. They're going to actually present my brother's case in front of the International Commission of Inquiry of Systematic Racism, Violence Against Police. And this is going to be this Saturday. My brother's case is going to be heard at 10 a.m. And in case you're interested in the website, where you can hear all the different cases, like they had Tamir Rice's case on. My sister Hillary was able to listen to that and get a feel of it. They also have a Facebook page. We'll share that too, Hillary. If you're still on here, if you could share it inside of the comments, that would actually be great. But I'm going to give you the website. The website is inquirycommission.org. That's INQUIRY Commission, COMMISSION.org. So my brother's case will be presented, and the thing is, it's going to be heard by the different commissioners all around the world. That's why we do not get any type of accountability. To me, it's really easy. Like, to me, I call it legalized genocide. If you're able to just kill away a race of people just for nothing and get away with it, and you get rewarded, you get promotions for that heinous type of behavior, that's why they're doing it, because nobody's held accountable. So our mission is to get Ruiz and the rest of those killer cops in a cell block. And I just want to let you know, we're going to not only, am I holding up my brother, Tyrone? I told you my other brother, which is my cousin, I'm holding up Tavon Anderson too. Wrong man, right family. That's all I gotta say. And if you guys want to donate, again, I'm going to share again like I shared at the beginning, and it's also in the chat, but just in case somebody like Uncle Bill said went to go get the pen, we missed it in the chat. I'm going to share it again. It's to my cousin Samaya Honeyblue. Her cash app is $, S as in Sam, K as in Kit, H as in Henry, 826. That's SKH 826. The PayPal is DLores, but it's DEE.LORES@yahoo.com. So again, I thank you guys. Live to love, love to live. Keep my family. Please keep my family, not just my family. Every last family member on here, keep stuff on Clark's grandmother in prayers, keep Nicole in prayers, keep Tiffany in prayers, and Taylor's family, keep each and every last one of us. We're gonna all keep our family in prayer with thoughts, but I'm the one that believes in God, and I know at the end God has the final say. So if you think that you're getting away with all this, guess what? Every dog has their day, and it's something called karma, and it's something else. It's the bleak word. I don't even want to say it because I'm trying to end on a positive note. But we're going to take you out here with the video that we started with Killer Ruiz. Killer Ruiz doing what he's doing, brutalizing. And keep in mind, we showed you 6 cases before the new report of the ACLU. So you do the math. 18 plus 6 are the ones that we know of. What about the ones that were too scared or think that 911's a joke and the police is the joke? What about the ones that didn't even go and do the report? Scratching my head, why is he still working? Why isn't Marilyn Mosby doing her damn job? Why isn't anyone doing their damn job? That question is on them. Who's next? That's all I gotta say. Until we get something done, who is next from community violence? Who is next from police brutality? Guess what? It's all connected. It's called the highway of hell. It's this damn system. We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter. It may not matter to the ones that are killing us, but it matters to the loved ones that you leave behind that have to suffer like hell to hold up the memory and their love of their love. And each day is a memory. Make yours great, because you never know when your day is coming. You never know. You never know. Just in the world we're living at, and in the fast pace we're going with death, it's just horrible, but it's reality. A part of living is dying. So we all got a part to play while we're living, while we have awarded the opportunity to do right, let's do it. If you see anybody doing something wrong, you need to say something, because guess what? You're a part of the problem. Thank you. We will not stop until killer cops are in cell blocks. Mic check. Thank you. Live to love, love to live. Thank you all. You may take us out with the video.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Okay.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up. No.
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, when will Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump-out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam, and my sister Dina and her family. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.